Okay, with the 7 horsepower engine that's sitting on our Jono Johno pumps, we need the correct oil level. We've got a filling port on both sides of the engine, and when you take the cap off, it'll have a dipstick. So just use any 10W30 grade motor oil. Use a funnel, and you can just sort of put that in and fill it up. About 600 millimeters of oil should be the correct level. A way to check and just make sure, because sometimes the dipsticks can be hard to read, is look for the oil floating at the threads. So if you can see the oil at the top of the threads in there, that should be fine. On Jono Johno engines, the 6.5 or 7 horsepower engine, they have a low oil sensor that is hidden in behind the starting solenoid, but it comes out of the side of the block as a yellow wire. So in there is the wire that goes into the float switch inside the engine. Here's an engine where you can see, with no starter motor, you can see where the low oil sensor wire comes out of the engine. The sensor is a float switch inside the engine. This is not the sensor. So the low oil sensor, if the oil is low, then it will turn off the ignition or interrupt the spark and will stop the engine to save it. So always make sure the oil is filled to the level with the threads. So sometimes if you think you suspect the fuel as a reason for it not starting, a good thing to do is check inside the tank and have a look inside. Take the lid off, remove the filter, and you can use a torch and look inside the tank to see if you can see water bubbles, sand particles, any dirt or material like that. Because if you can see water in there, there's a good chance that could make its way into the carburetor and stop the engine running. These tanks, although they've got the seal and filter, are not waterproof. If they're left out in the rain, water will get into the engine. So another way to check whether the fuel is contaminated or clean, or if the carby could be blocked with dirt or water, is on the side of the carburetor, on the float bowl, there is a drain plug. This little nut on the side is for draining the carby. So have a sample cup or a little container that can catch some. Undo the nut, and if you've got fuel coming out, then obviously fuel is getting from the tank to the carburetor, and you can see that's trickling out. So with your sample you can have a look at the condition of the fuel to see whether there's water bubbles in there or dirt, or even if the fuel is very yellow, it could be stale and you might need fresh fuel. With any engine, it needs good fuel, good oil and good air. So every now and then you should be checking your air filter, which is just taking the top off, remove the plastic cover, and that's your air filter. And an air filter has got a foam layer that keeps the rocks out, but underneath is the paper element, and that can be, so this sometimes can look clean, but if the paper element can be blocked underneath, your engine might not get enough clean air. So what you can do is run the engine without the air filter and with the air filter, and if you spot a difference, it's time to change the air filter.